Okay, YouTube, this is purely to talk about the wheels, what sounds, what to expect if you hear the wheel getting loose. Because I'll tell you, it's not a consistent thing. It's something that's very random. Um, I've had the bike back now for almost 2 weeks. I've ridden it, put about 1,000 miles on it. Nothing's gone wrong. But I haven't ridden it for about a week now. And you can see all the dust and cobwebs on it. But it's just not my highest priority anymore. Moving forward, let's just talk about the sounds from the wheel. So what led up to this event? Well, basically what happened was somebody pulled out in front of me somewhere around 40 to 50 miles an hour. I was leaving the town to hit the highway. They pulled out in front of me. I hit the brakes. It was a hard brake. I mean, I slammed on the brakes. The ABS kicked in. Boom, 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 boom. Shutter. Didn't think anything of it. I had no problems with the wheels up until this point. I drive home. I always get off the bike on the left side. So I always get off the bike on the left side. And when I got off the bike on the left side, if you watch my previous videos, which most people haven't, everybody's just making up their conspiracy theories. They're not even watching all the videos. This clip was bent out. So with it bent out, I took pictures. I sent it to the dealer. And there was never a conversation when I was getting delivered this bike that, here's what to do if this happens, or if the clip comes out, or if you hear this sound, or none of that was going on. This is so new at the time that nobody really even knows what's going on with these bikes. So it was basically, here's how to start it, here's how to hit the brakes, do this, adjust your pedals, things of that nature, and have fun. So, but that's not the point. The point isn't to focus just on the dealer, because the dealer can make the mistake. I have openly said it in all my videos that they clearly made the mistake. I've just given them a little bit more leadway on it because I need the issue fixed. It is fixed. It is back. But that's just where we're at. So this was bent out, okay, after this hard braking scenario. Sent it to the dealer. There was no discussion like, hey, don't ride it anymore, bring it back, let us look at it. None of that happened. So if you take the wheels off yourself and you see a bent clip, then clearly this is loose. Something's wrong here. You're going to have to get your socket out and torque it. I still don't own the socket. I have never owned the socket. There's no way I can take this off. So this whole process has been frustrating because there's nothing I can do to tighten that. Even now, I still don't have it. So if this bends out, that's your first indicator that something's loose here. Now keep in mind, the left wheel never came off. It never rattled. It never made any noise. The only indicator was the bent clip. So if you see that, that's it. You've got to get to work and torque this and get you a new clip. And I think they're like $2 or something is what they told me at the dealership, but it could be more depending on where you're at. I don't know, and I don't really care. So I would order you some extra clips just in case something goes wrong. Now, after the hard braking scenario, I drove this for 2 more days. With that bent clip like that, I kept checking it. It never moved. There was no noise, no nothing, anything going on for 2 days. And then on day 3, I started to hear this rattle sound. Kind of sounds like this. Or it sounds like this piece of plastic down here. Let's see if we can get down here. Ready? So it fooled me into thinking that it was this piece of plastic because of where it's located. Okay. And then what also fooled me is thinking that this gap down here in the pitman arm, okay, is much smaller than the gap on the left side. Over here, it's really tight. So I kept hearing this rattle. Never at high speed, always at low speed, somewhere between 20 and 40 miles an hour. Never at high speed, and it was never consistent. It wasn't because I was hitting a bunch of bumps. I could be on a perfectly smooth patch of road and it would make the rattling sound. I could go through a big ass pothole and it not make any sound. And then it wouldn't make sound till I'm a few feet away from the pothole. So it wasn't very consistent. It wasn't something that led you to believe something was wrong or loose in the front wheel. Every time I would check this wheel, the clip was always in place. I can't do anything. I don't have the socket. I would check this. I would shake the wheel. Nothing happened. No rattling noise. So the first day when I talked about my video that I stopped at a stop sign and I heard this grinding noise, I immediately jumped off the bike. The first thing I did was check to see if the clip was there. Clip was there. Check this to see if it was loose. It was not loose. I shook the wheel like you wouldn't believe. No sound, no nothing. I hit the fender. I mean, there was no indicators that something was going wrong. So I rode it to work because it was only a few blocks from work, from where it happened. Went to work. I went to lunch. I hit the gas. I hard braked this thing. I did everything I could, and I could not duplicate the problem. I could not duplicate the rattle, and I could not duplicate the grinding noise. And I was thinking to myself, it's just got to be this plastic thing. It's grinding in the wheel well, hitting it because it's too close to that pitman arm. That was my thought process. I drove it home. I drove it 80 miles an hour home. My drive, I don't have to hit the brakes very much. It's 50 miles straight. So and when I let off the accelerator, I just let off the accelerator so I don't have to touch the brakes. And I coast to a stop or coast to the speed I want to make a turn, and I make the turn and I come home. So the first time I hit the brakes since leaving 50 miles away was right up here at this turn from my house. So I hit the brakes and I hear this huge grinding noise. I immediately pull up the house. I look. I didn't notice that the clip was gone. I didn't notice it. I shook the wheel. Nothing happened. All that stuff. Next morning, I got on it to take off, and the wheel was doing this. And I hopped off, and the clip was gone. So these are indicators for you, whether your dealer did it or you did the work. It doesn't matter. A year from now, 2 years, 5 years from now, I don't care. At least you know that if you hear those sounds or you see a bent clip, something has gotten loose, okay? Another indicator that I didn't pick up on right away until much later, until after I got the bike back, was when I would be on the bike and I'd be backing out of a parking spot and I would turn the wheel like that to back out, it would make this clicking noise. When the wheel was loose, it would make this click, 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 click sound as you would back up. And then you would straighten the wheel out or you'd move it a little bit and it would stop clicking. So that's another indicator. If you're not hearing any of the other indicators, but you go to back up and you hear this click, 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 click sound as it's backing out, then something's loose in the wheel. So right now, if I do this and I do it on the bike, it won't make the clicking sound because everything's torqued right. Everything's the way it's supposed to be, the way it should have been now. So it doesn't make a clicking noise when I do that. And you can see when you got it hard turned like that, it's touching that fender, but it doesn't make a click noise. So if your wheel's loose, it's going to make that click noise on you. No problem. So again, I don't care, dealer, doesn't matter. Those people can show up like your dealer screwed you. I'm not arguing that. I know they screwed me. So they messed up. They made a mistake. It's too new. They didn't understand this process, and I'm the one that got bought. I'm the only person coming out talking about it. That's fine. At least somebody knows and people are doing what they need to do. And that's what's important to me. Again, not a monetized channel. I'm not making money on this. 5 years from now, this video could save someone's life because they heard that sound and they know what to do, what they need to do right away. And I'm under the suspicion that more information will come out. More videos will come out about stuff like this as it happens. Just like with anything, it doesn't matter. So I saw the dude's video that backed it up and flipped it. You know, I didn't even think about backing it up and that it would flip backing up because I'm largely on flat ground. I don't have any huge inclines. The biggest incline I have is driving off this porch. So that was a good video. It was very informative, and I'm glad he put it out there. Sucks he tore up his bike, but that's all repairable, no big deal. So YouTube, this is what I have for you. It's all about the wheel, the sound. If you start to hear that, if you start to get that clicking noise when you hard turn it when backing, if you see a bent clip, that's an indicator something's loose. And if you got the socket and you got all that